In a kingdom older than recorded history, hidden beneath the world's political illusions, there sat a royal king, a ruler crowned in tradition, armored in ancient laws, surrounded by the echoes of a dynasty that once believed it would last forever. He commands legions. He shapes timelines. He whispers into the halls where earthly decisions are made. But lately, his confidence is cracking because something shifted in the fabric of authority itself. A new force awakened. A presence he cannot name but instantly recognizes. A legitimacy older than his throne. A power that does not bend to hierarchy. A destiny that does not wait for permission. You, the king, has never feared armies, never feared councils, never feared rebellion. But he fears you because your rise signals the end of everything he was built to protect. The old order, the old crown, the age where power belonged to bloodlines instead of purpose. Your authority does not come from gold, lineage, or decree. It comes from the divine court, from a throne far above his own. Every time you grow, his empire weakens. Every time you rise, his influence trembles. Every step you take toward your calling cracks another stone in the foundation of his rule. He knows the prophecy. When the chosen awakens, the earthly king loses his throne. And that is why he resists you. Not because you are dangerous, but because you are legitimate. Your destiny outranks his crown. Thrones do not fear rebels. Thrones fear heirs. If you've ever been opposed for no reason, type 888. Old crowns fall when the chosen rises. Long before you were born, long before you took your first breath or felt your first pull toward destiny, the royal king already knew your name. Not because he met you, not because he saw you, but because he found something he was never meant to read. Deep beneath his palace, in a forbidden archive sealed with wax and fear, lay an ancient scroll written in the language of the first scribes. A prophecy older than his dynasty, older than his throne, older than the concept of kingship itself. One night, searching for signs of threats to his reign, he broke the seal, and there it was, a passage describing the rise of a child not born of royalty, but chosen by heaven, a soul whose authority would not come from lineage, but from divine designation, a spirit whose awakening would mark the collapse of earthly thrones. The scroll did not mention your face. It mentioned your presence, a light that would enter the era like a sword made of dawn, a power that would expose false crowns and fragile kingdoms. The prophecy terrified him, not because it predicted rebellion, but because it predicted replacement. It said, when the hidden heir rises, the royal crown will crack, and the king will tremble before one he cannot command. From that moment, you became his silent obsession, not yet born, not yet awakened, but already targeted. He fortified his walls. He sought counsel from oracles. He studied every war tactic written by kings who feared destiny. Yet nothing eased the dread because nothing in the scroll warned him about armies or battles. It warned him about you. You were the prophecy he was never meant to see, the heir he cannot outrun, the destiny he cannot defeat. And he's been preparing for your arrival since the night. He read the words that sealed his fate. The king rules through inheritance. His crown passed from father to son, forged through politics, alliances, and centuries of guarded tradition. His authority is old, yes, but fragile, dependent on rituals, bloodlines, and the loyalty of a kingdom that no longer believes in him. Your authority, however, is nothing like his. He envies you because your legitimacy did not come from palace walls or ancestral privilege. It came from divine court, from a realm where crowns are given, not inherited, where power is bestowed by purpose, not birthright. Your lineage is older than his monarchy, older than his dynasty, older than every throne that ever tried to mimic heaven. He spent his entire life trying to prove he was worthy of the crown. You were born worthy without ever asking for it. This is what haunts him. His entire rule is built on maintaining appearances, but your destiny shines even when you are silent. You carry a bloodline he cannot trace, cannot categorize, cannot control. A spiritual ancestry written in prophecy instead of genealogy. He trained for power. You were marked by it. He earned his authority. You embody yours. He wears a crown on his head. You wear one in your spirit. That is why he watches you with both fascination and dread. Because deep down he knows If the people ever sense who you are, if they ever feel your presence, your clarity, your purpose, they will remember the ancient truth he has spent his entire reign suppressing. Earthly kings rule by permission. Divine heirs rule by right. Your bloodline threatens him because it exposes his own as hollow. Your destiny diminishes him without you ever lifting a hand. You are everything you pretended to be, legitimate, chosen, unstoppable. The king had sensed your existence for years, but the night your spirit awakened, not your birth, not your childhood, but the moment your purpose switched on, his entire kingdom reacted like a wounded beast. It began subtly, a tremor beneath the stone floors of his throne room, a faint ringing in the metal of his crown, his torches flickering even though the air was still. He felt a pressure, a shifting in the invisible architecture that holds his rule in place. Then it struck. A crack echoed through the hall, not from the walls, but from the throne itself. A hairline fracture running across the armrest, as if some ancient force had finally touched what he thought was untouchable. He stood quickly, heart racing, not from fear of rebellion, but from fear of prophecy, because he knew this sign. Every king in his lineage knew it. When the heir awakens, the throne will tremble. It was not metaphor. It was a warning. Your awakening rippled through realms, cutting through centuries of royal illusions and striking the seat of authority like a divine arrow. He called for his advisors. But they heard it too, a sound like grinding stone, like something ancient stretching awake after a long slumber. The king looked at the torches and watched their flames bend away from the throne and toward the unseen presence that had entered the world that night. You, the moment you stepped into alignment with your destiny. His kingdom felt it. Power shifted. Timelines bent. Old protections broke. His throne didn't crack because you threatened him. It cracked because the universe recognized a rightful heir. And he realized the prophecy he tried to outmaneuver had already begun. The king does not fear your strength. He has conquered warriors stronger than you. He has outmaneuvered councils, silenced rebels, destroyed bloodlines that dare to threaten his rule. But you are different. He fears you because your rise does not come from strategy, training, alliances, or human authority. Your power is not built. It's ordained. He fears you because he cannot predict you. Prophetic souls do not follow the logic of kings. He fears you because he cannot buy you. Your calling is not for sale. He fears you because he cannot stop you. He has tried, through confusion, through delay, through spiritual interference. Yet every attempt only made you stronger. He fears you because your presence exposes him. Whenever you step into a room, his influence weakens. His shadows shrink. His counsel falters. Light makes false crowns look cheap. But the deepest fear comes from this. Your destiny ends his era. Your emergence signals the completion of his bloodline's authority cycle. You are the prophecy his ancestors prayed would never come. Because the scroll he read in secret did not speak of your death, your defeat, or your failure. It spoke of his. It said, when the divine heir ascends, the throne of man will fall. Your existence invalidates his monarchy. Your awakening is a countdown to his kingdom's collapse. He does not fear losing power. He fears becoming irrelevant in a world where your destiny outshines his entire lineage. He knows the truth but tries to deny it. You are not his enemy. You are his replacement. The king has soldiers, armies, generals, men trained from childhood to protect his throne at all costs. But none of them frighten him as much as the beings that stand behind you. He sees them, not with human sight, but with the spiritual sensitivity that every monarch in his lineage inherited. It is the curse of kings. They can detect higher authority even when they pretend not to believe in it. The king has looked into the distance and felt the pressure of entities that answer to no earthly kingdom. Warriors forged in heavenly fire, sentinels with armor made of thunder, messengers whose very presence shatters illusions. These angels do not hover. They march. They take formation behind you with the precision of an ancient army responding to the arrival of their rightful commander. The king watches them with dread because he recognizes the insignia they carry, marks of the divine court, the same court that gave authority to prophets, judges, and chosen ones throughout all ages. He has read the scrolls. He knows the stories. He has seen illustrations of the very beings he now senses behind you, and they are not bodyguards. They are witnesses. Witnesses to your coronation. Witnesses to your assignment. Witnesses to the prophecy that ends his reign. The king knows earthly armies can stop rebellions, but they cannot stop destiny. His soldiers cannot wield weapons against beings made of lightning. His generals cannot strategize against a decree issued before time. Every time you rise, the angels shift closer. Every time you heal, their formation tightens. Every time you speak truth, their swords ignite. He understands a message clearly. You are not walking alone. You walk with an army that outranks his entire kingdom. And that is why the king shakes, not because of your strength, but because of the heavenly power standing at your back. The king still prepares for war, summoning advisors, tightening defenses, consulting ancient seers who speak in riddles about your rise. He readies his armies as a strategy can rewrite prophecy. But deep inside, in the place where even monarchs cannot lie to themselves, he knows the truth. The battle was lost long before it began. Not because you are stronger, not because you have more resources, not because you seek confrontation, but because your destiny was written in a courtroom above his authority, stamped with seal no earthly throne can erase. He fights a war that heaven already resolved. Every attempt he's made to stop you, the resistance, the obstacles, the spiritual interference, the sudden delays, the unexplained pressure that showed up each time you stepped forward, none of it changed the inevitable. Prophetic battles are not won by might. They're won by timing. And the moment you awakened, the scales tipped. You could feel it too. The sudden shift in your life, the strange acceleration, doors opening that were locked for years, old chains snapping without explanation, strength rising you that felt borrowed from another realm. Those weren't coincidences. They were rulings. The divine court had issued a decree. The old throne will fall. The chosen will ascend. This was not war. It was a transition of power. The king's fear is not losing the battle. It's realizing he never had a chance. Your arrival ended his cycle. Your awakening sealed his fate. Your existence is the prophecy fulfilled. He's not fighting you. He's fighting the end of his era. And no monarch, no matter how ancient, can win a war against destiny itself. Long before the king declared you his enemy, he tried something far more subtle, far more dangerous. He tried to claim you, because every wise monarch knows, if you cannot defeat the chosen, the next best strategy is to recruit them, restrict them, bind them with flattery disguised as favor. So he extended his first offer not through threats, but through honor. He wanted to place a crown on your head, not a gift, but a leash, a smaller throne, a divided authority, a role inside his kingdom that looked prestigious, but would have neutralized your destiny. He wanted you next to him, not because he valued you, but because proximity is control. If he could not stop the prophecy, he wanted to contain it. He invited you subtly at first. Opportunities wrapped in gold, alliances that seemed beneficial, doors that opened too easily, people who praised you too quickly. What he offered was not elevation. It was confinement, because he understands something that most of the world does not. Your true crown does not come from earthly endorsement. Your authority cannot be handed to you by a throne you were meant to replace. You rejected him without even knowing why. Your spirit sensed a trap. Your intuition warned you. Something in you whispered, "This is not your crown." And when you refused, the king's admiration turned into fear. Fear turned into resentment. Resentment turned into opposition. He didn't hate you because you rose. He hated you because you refused to rise under him. By denying his counterfeit crown, you preserve your real one. The crown spoken of in prophecy, the authority he cannot touch, the legacy he cannot rewrite. He wanted ownership. Instead, he awakened your destiny. When the king realized he could not claim you, could not recruit you, could not crown you into submission, he turned to the oldest tactic in royal warfare, decrees spoken in secret. Kings fight with words long before they fight with swords. And in the unseen realm, a decree is a weapon. He issued commands meant to cloud your path. Delays, diversions, discouragement, relationships that drained you, doors that closed abruptly, seasons of confusion that made no logical sense. None of these were accidents. They were strategic strikes against your timeline. He whispered orders to keep you busy with battles that were never yours, to exhaust your spirit before you discovered your calling, to distract you with people who couldn't carry your weight, to surround you with noise so you couldn't hear your own intuition. Every spiritual interference, every sudden heaviness, every moment you felt like invisible resistance was not random. They were decrees spoken against your ascent. He tried to seal opportunities with words like chains. He tried to bind your confidence with narratives that weren't true. He tried to curse your movement with whispers sent from his throne. But here's the truth he failed to understand. You are governed by a decree older than his. The king speaks from authority. You move from destiny. Every tactic he used only revealed his desperation, because the prophecy says clearly, no weapon formed against the chosen shall stand. His decrees hit walls you didn't even know were protecting you. His curses bent around your path like arrows redirected by divine wind. His attempts to delay you only pushed you deeper into purpose. He tried to stop your rise, but all he managed to do was confirm it. There's a moment in every chosen one story when the shift becomes undeniable. The instant destiny stops being potential and becomes movement. For you, that moment wasn't dramatic. It wasn't a ritual, a sign in the sky, or a battlefield revelation. It was the quiet day you finally chose yourself. The day you stopped shrinking. The day you breathed differently. The day your spirit whispered, enough. When you stood, truly stood, every realm felt it. The king felt it first. Not through spies, not through messengers, but through the tremor that ran beneath his throne room floor. A vibration that cracked the pillars of his false authority. A shockwave of light that pushed through the shadows he commanded. Because when a chosen one rises, they don't rise alone. Their purpose rises. Their timeline rises. Their protection rises. Their angelic battalion rises. An entire architecture of the unseen world adjusts. Your decision to stand signaled heaven. Activate their prophecy. The old cycles broke. The invisible chains snapped. The delays dissolved like dust. Everything that once felt heavy suddenly felt temporary. Everything that once felt impossible began shifting toward you. And the king, the one who believed his throne was unshakable, felt something he had not felt in centuries. Power leaving him. As you rose, his influence sank. As your path illuminated, his corridors dimmed. As your spirit awakened, his kingdom destabilized. He realized the truth too late. He was never fighting your strength. He was fighting your awakening. And the moment you stood up, his rain began to fall. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the veil thins and the spirit is permitted to see the truth behind all the resistance. For you, that moment appeared as a vision, not a dream, not imagination, but a spiritual summons into a throne room older than kingdoms. You found yourself standing in a vast hall made of stone and gold, lit by torches that did not burn with fire, but with memory. The air was heavy, almost ancient, as if the walls themselves had witnessed centuries of battles, betrayals, and coronations. At the end of the hall, upon a raised platform carved from obsidian, sat the king, the very one who opposed you. But the sight of him was nothing like the legend. His crown weighed heavy. His shoulders slumped. His eyes darted not with arrogance, but with dread, because he didn't see a challenger. He saw a replacement. Behind you, the air shimmered with the presence of the angelic guard assigned to your destiny. He sensed them before you did, the light, the authority, the silent fire that followed your steps. You walked forward, not in aggression, but in inevitability. Each step echoed like a decree. The king's throne trembled. Dust slipped from ancient carvings. His breath grew shallow. This wasn't a confrontation. It was recognition. He bowed his head slightly, not out of respect, but out of instinct. His spirit understood something his mind refused to accept. You outrank him, not by title, not by birth, but by calling. An entire throne room knew it. In that moment, you finally saw the truth that the king has known all along. You were never meant to serve the throne. You were meant to end its era. Long before your birth, long before the king claimed his throne, long before kingdoms rose and collapsed into dust, there existed a prophecy, not written by men, but recorded by the watchers of ages. It spoke of two royals whose paths would one day collide, Not princes, not monarchs, but two different kinds of sovereignty. One born of Earth's hierarchy, woven from bloodlines, conquest, and inheritance. And one born of heaven's decree, forged in purpose, sealed in light, chosen before breath. The prophecy named them, the earthly crown and the divine heir. The king belongs to the first. His lineage carries weight in the physical realm, the kind of authority built through generations of control, fear, legacy, and ceremony. But you are the second. Your authority does not come from ancestry, but from assignment. You were sent, not born, ordained, not appointed, recognized by angels, not coronated by men. Ancient scripts describe this clash. When the chosen awakens, the two crowns will meet, and only the eternal one will stand. This is why the king trembles. Your existence fulfills the cycle his ancestors dreaded. They knew that a day would come when a being carrying heaven's seal would rise in the same era, in the same realm, threatening every earthly foundation they worked centuries to build. This was never about rivalry. This was architecture. Two sovereignties cannot rule the same timeline. When the divine heir arrives, the earthly crown collapses, not through violence, but through irrelevance. Your rise signals the end of borrowed authority and the return of original order. You are not here to challenge the king. You are here to replace what his throne represents, an outdated structure standing in the way of what heaven is restoring. He is royalty by title. You are royalty by prophecy, and prophecy always wins. Every chosen one eventually learns a truth that feels impossible at first, yet becomes undeniable with time. Some enemies are assigned, not accidental. The king was never meant to destroy you. He was meant to reveal you. Before he opposed you, you didn't realize your strength. Before he resisted you, you didn't understand your authority. Before he feared you, you didn't know you were a threat to entire systems built long before your birth. His hostility was not personal. It was prophetic. The king became a mirror showing you the magnitude of what you carry. Because only someone with world-shifting destiny attracts resistance from throne-level forces. If you were ordinary, he wouldn't notice you. If you were harmless, he wouldn't fear you. If you were irrelevant, he wouldn't waste resources trying to delay you, distract you, slow you down. He reacted not to who you were, but to who you are becoming. The pressure, the spiritual tension, the strange opposition that followed you like a shadow. Those were confirmations, not curses. The king's presence in your story forced your soul to awaken, forced your spirit to strengthen, forced your gift to activate. Just like a diamond is revealed under pressure, your calling was revealed under resistance. The prophecy always required a challenger, not to defeat you, but to elevate you. The king unknowingly pushed you into your identity. His attempts to contain you made you outgrow every limitation. His strategies to break you only unlocked deeper purpose. He didn't test your weakness. He exposed your royalty. And when history is told, the king will not be remembered as your conqueror. He will be remembered as the catalyst that proved you were chosen. O King of Kings, author of destiny, commander of realms unseen, the one who crowns without ceremony and appoints without permission, we come before you now as the chosen rises into the identity you wrote long before time. Let every false throne that tried to limit them lose its power. Let every counterfeit crown fade into dust. Let every voice that spoke against their calling be silenced by your decree. Awaken the royalty within them, not the royalty of ego, but the royalty of purpose, the kind that walks with humility, yet carries unshakable authority, the kind that tears down old systems without lifting a sword, the kind that rises because heaven said, now. Surround them with your armies, the warriors of light who march behind their steps. Let every path they take become holy ground. Let every room they enter feel the shift of divine presence. Let their confidence be rooted not in pride, but in the certainty that they were chosen by you. Break every chain that once held their voice. Lift every weight that tried to bury their fire. Strengthen their spirit for the places their feet have not yet walked. Prepare them for assignments only royalty can carry. And Lord, as the earthly king trembles, as his throne cracks, as his era ends, let the chosen rise without fear, without hesitation, without apology. For they are not crowned by man, but by destiny, not empowered by courts, but by heaven. Let their light expose deception. Let their authority shift atmospheres. Let their purpose blaze like a torch in the darkness. This is the rising that was written. This is the identity they were born to embody. Let it be so, now and forever. Amen. If you ever felt resisted, targeted, or pushed for no reason, it's because old thrones sent your rise before you did. If your spirit knows this truth, type 888 in the comments. Your coronation has already begun.